Hello and welcome back to another episode of the CrossFit Harrow podcast, episode 85. Today we've got Julan who joins us. Julan, thank you for your time.
Good.
First question always goes out is, why CrossFit Harrow? What brought you here?
Moved home, moved to Stanmore in the last year, and then I had to find a new gym because I was based in Virgin Active in Mill Hill.
Okay.
Looked around, came across CrossFit. My brother does CrossFit, well, he used to do CrossFit, so I knew about it.
Oh, right, I didn't know that.
There wasn't any CrossFits back in home where I used to live in Barnet. The nearest one, I think, must have been this or Watford.
Yeah.
So I couldn't do any of those. So then he told me about it, and I was like, okay, let me try it. I was getting bored at the gym. I couldn't be asked to think about, today's leg day, today's upper body. Like, it just wasn't me.
Yeah.
Wasn't putting any more muscle on. So I think the amount of muscle I've put on here in the last year, I think more than what I've done in the last 6 years at the gym.
Wow. Because we've got quite a big stat, which is even before this though, that between 2012 and 2014 you lost 25 kilo.
Yeah. Yeah, so university completely did me. My diet went out the window together with alcohol, soft drinks. It was just complete.
People don't realise how bad actually like soft drinks. If you're out at uni and you're having like Bacardi, Coke, vodka, Red, like those that mounts up to a lot.
So I used to drink Bacardi and Coke or JD and Coke. Those were my go-to.
They give me goosebumps talking about it.
I know, it's the worst combination ever. And I wasn't doing any exercise. I was eating rubbish. There's some days where I used to eat one meal a day.
Wow.
I used to go out, wake up like 12 o'clock, 1 p.m, have lunch or whatever you want to call it, and then get back on the drinking again. So
wow.
Just had no time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, obviously it's my fault, but...
Well, looking at you, I'd never be able to imagine you as you are now, holding an extra 25 kilo.
Yeah, it's if I see people from uni, like when I lost most of the weight, which was probably between 2013 and 2014, some people couldn't recognize me, or they were like gobsmacked.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I would.
I've got photos that I don't really look at anymore. But
yeah, we'll see it after the show. Yeah. Let's talk about what process you went through. So, at what point did you think, fuck, I've got a bit of a problem here. I need to lose weight.
I think so. I finished uni in 2010, and then I started obviously looking for a job and getting into the whole working environment. And then I think when you look around, you're like, shit. And my sister was getting married in 2012. I was like, I cannot look like this. I need to do something. So that was like I think I must have just woken up one day and it must have been coming. I must have been thinking about it. And then that one day I was like, okay, hold on.
Right. So there's probably a lot of people listening to this, or eventually we'll get around to listen to this, that maybe not in a similar position, but would want to lose weight. Maybe not that amount.
Yeah.
What did you do? Because I don't know anything about this, right?
Yeah.
I didn't actually know that was the case. What did you do and change? Yeah. And did you set yourself were you putting pressure on time, or were you I'm just going to see what happens?
So,
as in over for a long period of time. What did you change?
So I guess the two biggest things I changed was I started to do exercise, which I rarely did at uni. I think I must have played badminton once every 2 weeks at university, and that was just for jokes. So I started to actually do something physically active, and diet. I'll probably say, and I know people might have heard this before, but it is 80% diet, 20% exercise. If I hadn't done exercise, but if I had changed my diet, I still think that would have made a massive impact.
Absolutely, but I think in terms of body shape and muscle mass and things, this is what people forget, that exercise, resistance training, weight training, that plays a big part in that weight loss journey. Yeah. So you went from doing nothing, let's say,
literally,
to what was the step? Did you go every day? Did you go 3 times a week, 4 times a week?
So I think I started off 3 times a week. I got myself a PT to get me into it. so that was my my starting point. I used to go gym when I was like 18. Not 18. Sorry, when I was like 15, 16. I used to be pretty slim, but then obviously uni just completely destroyed me.
I think it's very, very admirable for you to say that you invested into yourself in personal training, because I feel, my personal experience, I feel that a lot of people want to make such a huge change, right? And just joining the gym psychologically is enough for them to lose that weight. So signing up to a gym, regardless whether it's CrossFit or whatever it is, sometimes that could be seen, portrayed in their minds as enough to do that. So you needed help. The extra help that you got was investing in a trainer.
So that got me into it. And then I think I paid for like 10 sessions, did like one session a week, and then did my own thing 2-3 times a week. And then slowly just got into it again, and then was extremely strict with my diet.
Talk to me about what extremely strict means in your case.
Literally, I cut out soft drinks, had the odd chocolate here and there, but sweet stuff just cut out. Fried food, next to nothing. I used to control what my mum cooked at home, because obviously I was living at home at that point.
At the time,
So yeah, just...
Did you eat, everything was pretty much cooked for, as in it was either cooked by you or cooked for someone in household? You'd very rarely eat out at that stage?
Yeah, maybe once or twice a week, but even then, I used to then be like, I can't have this, I can have that. So I used to be selective.
The reason I'm like throwing, like I'm 100 miles out at you, I think that is insane. 25 kilo over 2 years, because it, and wanting to know more about the changes you made is because you know, you could have gone completely like the other way in terms of, I'm going to try and do this and lose this within 3 months, and actually there would have been no longevity to it. I'm actually quite, like, knowing this, I'm even more proud of you because of the longevity that you have given it.
It was, I think the main thing is losing it, but then maintaining it is, I found it, I know this is pretty strange, but I find it easier to lose weight than to maintain weight.
It's common. It is common for depending on like the individual, as in terms of mass of the individual. Because when there is a bigger number, let's say, generally that people find that easier to lose than maintain. Because we like to eat, right? We like to we like foods that are not good for us. That's the way that we've been designed. The foods are designed now to go in with our taste buds. Like they go hand in hand. Okay, so training 3 times a week. Sorting, really in control of your food and making good decisions in terms of when you're eating out. Were you along that way, like on a thing like, right, I'm 6 weeks in, I've only lost like 2 kilo, or, you know, were you just enjoying that journey?
So I wasn't weighing myself every day. Probably must have been, I think I might have been weighing myself once a week, if that, or once a fortnight. And then I think I realized when you start to wear your old clothes, that's when you know that, okay, that feels good. Because I think I used to be waist 34 or 36.
Wow.
And now I think I'm in like 28.
Wow,
but
that's massive.
It's funny because I found my old suits one day from when I started my working life. Oh my God.
The style of them or size of them?
Well, probably the size more, but yeah.
But it's amazing. So, you know, you would be a massive advocate of like fixing nutrition, like the exercise is the easy part, right? In comparison.
Definitely.
Okay. You're quite into triathlons. How did you get into that?
So started the life of going to the gym, etc., and then it got to a point where I was pretty fit, and I was thinking I need to do something, because at that point I was going gym 5 times a week. Okay,
so you built that up over 2 years.
So I built it up over 2-3 years, and then the point I reached was I need to do something, and then just decided to do triathlons. I think my brother must have mentioned it to me at one point. I'm like, I thought it was only for professionals, right? I didn't know that anyone can do it. And then the thought played into my mind, and then Googled it, and I did my first one in 2017, I think. Loved it.
Well, you've done 2 Olympic ones.
2, I did.
4 sprints, 2 Olympic.
So I did 2 sprints, and then I was like, okay, this is not easy, but doable.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like, I knew I had an extra
bit in you
to do something more. But even though my times aren't great, I don't think I push myself. That's why my times are not that great. So I did 2 sprints. Then I was like, let me do the Olympic. Did the Olympic. Loved it. That was tough.
That's full distance, yeah?
Yeah. It's a full-on Olympic.
Wow. That's insane. Again, like, that gave you a bit of purpose, right, for the gym. That's why you were going to the gym. You wanted a new challenge. That was testing your fitness.
Yeah.
What do you enjoy?
Yes, I probably enjoy swimming the most, but it's probably one of my weakest. I used to think I was a good swimmer until I started to do triathlons.
Right.
And then when I looked at my time versus everyone else's, I was like, wow, I'm slow. But I enjoy it the most.
Did you take swim lessons at all, or did you just...
So I took, when I did the 2 sprints, so it must have been before the Olympic one, I did 1 swimming lesson, just to make sure that my technique is okay. So luckily the technique was okay, just
the volume of swimming.
Exactly. Yeah.
Have you got plans to do any more coming up?
I want to do one next year. My aim is to do half an Ironman by the time I'm 40.
How old are you now?
34.
6 years.
6 years, yeah. If I can do it before, then obviously...
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is a base, right? You've got a base of volume.
Yeah.
You've done 2 Olympics.
Yeah.
Just have to do a little bit more.
Yeah. It's just the running part of it. I get bored running, so 10K is probably the most I can do without moaning. Anything more, I'm just fed up.
Do you go out for runs?
Now and again, but because I started to do this like 4 or 5 times a week, my day off is a day off.
Yeah. It's needed. Needed. And by day, a finance manager.
Yep.
Accountant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that 2 separate roles or?
No.
Or
So
within...
I'm a chartered accountant, but my job title is like a finance manager. So
Fine.
It does everything to do with.
Is that something that you've always wanted to go down?
Yeah. So I at uni I did international business management.
Okay.
And then in the second year I could choose like a stream to follow. So I followed the accounting stream. Yeah. And that was really interesting for me. So I said to myself I want to do accounting after I finished my degree. So.
I've actually never asked people who like account. What makes you go into that field? What is it about?
It's mainly, obviously it's numbers.
Yeah.
But it's more to do with, there's different types. So you can work in a practice and do someone's tax return, for example, or you can work in industry and work for a company and look at the in-house
saving costs,
looking at the profit and loss, looking at forecasting, budgeting. So there's 2 separate sort of streams to go in. Yeah.
Right, interesting. Very interesting fact actually about you that I think a lot of people are not gonna just have no idea, and I would never put you in the same sentence. Is that you play the violin?
Yeah. I started to play in school. Got forced into it by the parents.
Okay.
When I think it must have been about 12. Continued till I was 15, and then I reached that stage where I thought it's not cool. Like people take the piss.
But it's such a skill.
Yeah, it is.
Is there different levels? Like
so you can do different grades.
Oh,
so
grades,
I reached grade 4, and then I stopped, and I was like, this.
Is it out of 7 or 5?
I think 7 or 8. I can't remember.
Okay.
Yeah, and then stopped. Didn't do anything until I was 2015, so 6 years ago. So about 28, 29. So what happened was, I did my accounting qualification. That took me 3.5, 4 years. Didn't have any time to do anything else, and I was constantly studying and going to evening classes. So I finished my qualification. I had so much free time after.
Yeah.
So I thought I wanted to pick up something, and then
that's quality.
And I still have my violin from.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. So I still use that.
There must be such a small amount of the population that play it must be so hard to find someone to play the violin.
I don't know anyone else that does.
I don't. It's just a very specific skill. Very specific skill. You mentioned that you're starting a new job in December.
Yeah.
As in coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that same field?
It's still in finance. It's working for CBRE, who are the property company.
Okay.
They do real estate. It's mainly looking after their construction business. They're going into European logistics. So they want to build like warehouses and data centers.
Oh, wow.
And so
this is like a new challenge for you in personal life, work life, career life. I've never heard of this. Jainism.
Yeah.
What is Jainism?
It's a pretty old Indian religion,
Okay.
but it's more like, it's a religion, but it's more like a way of living.
Okay.
Similar to like Hinduism and Buddhism. They've got like, I think they've got 5 main principles. I think I know 4. So one of them is non-violence, no lying, no stealing, and not to be greedy.
And the 5th one's don't forget things.
Yeah, probably. There is 5, I think. Oh, I think it's being faithful.
Okay.
So I'm vegetarian, and the reason why is because one of the principles is non-violent, so hence why I don't eat any meat.
Yeah.
But so my grandparents, they're true Jains, so they won't eat anything that's grown on the ground, i.e. carrots, ginger, garlic, potato, onion.
Wow.
So the thought process is that if you got a carrot, you pull it out of the ground. When you're pulling it out of the ground, you're killing the insects. So that's basically what.
I would never have looked at it in that sense.
Yeah.
That could be quite like extremist way of looking at it, right?
Yeah.
Has it been? Has it been around for like hundreds of years?
Yeah, I think it's
millions of years.
From I think 1000 BC or whatever.
And that runs through the family, does it?
Yeah. So obviously, I still eat eggs.
Okay.
Mainly because of the protein element of it, but I think nowadays you can get a lot more protein from other sources.
Yeah.
But my immediate family, brother, sister, mum, dad, they don't eat any meat. But there are other relatives that are Jain, but still.
But is it to an individual? Is it a faith and a religion to practice to a figure or?
So there are gods that within Jainism, but they are the same similar gods in Hinduism as there are in Jainism as well.
Right, but it's more of principles, way of life. This is how you should live.
So that, for example, Jainism, they believe in like the cycle of birth.
Okay.
So obviously you're born, you die, and they believe in reincarnation. So it's all about the karma. So if you live a good life now, you live a good life when you're reborn.
Yeah.
So there's quite a lot of spirituality in it.
It's a very interesting topic, reincarnation.
Yeah.
There's actually quite a few religions that believe in reincarnation, I think.
Yeah.
But it's a hard concept to think, but it's a belief.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
You've been around the world, right? You've been a few places.
Yeah.
What are some of the places you visited?
I think the favourite one would probably be Borneo.
Where's that?
It's an island off Malaysia.
Okay.
It's where you can see orangutans.
Oh, right.
It's that was probably my favourite place. But yeah, I've been lucky to travel with family.
Yeah, you mentioned like luxury plus backpacking trips. Luxury is in luxury backpacking?
No. So luxury meaning like hotels.
Fine. Okay.
So I think the way that my dad and mum got us into travelling was to slowly get us into travelling via 4 or 5-star hotels, and then as we grew older, then start living the life of backpacking.
So you've gone backpacking solo, but with partner, friends?
So I went. So we started off going backpacking with mum, dad, my brother, and my sister. I think we went 2-3 trips, and then obviously we went traveling with them from like a normal holiday hotels. And then
what is a normal holiday? No, I know.
Obviously not backpacking style. And then I've been South America by myself when I went to uni for 3 weeks backpacking. And
that must have been a really good experience.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, it was good. When was that? Second year of uni. Yeah.
Did that stay with you? Do you remember that?
A little bit. I was pretty big at that point in terms of like body and fitness was completely out the window, and I did Machu Picchu. And I remember the first hour, I almost like gave up because obviously you can't. You got to be fairly fit to
a certain physicality, right?
So yeah.
You climbed Mount Kinabalu?
Yeah, so that was in Borneo.
Okay.
So did that. Me and my sister did that together. That was pretty cool.
So little island, you said, off Malaysia.
Yeah.
What would be your day-to-day? Like, how long were you there for?
I think I was there for just under 2 weeks. So in Borneo, there's rainforests.
Right.
There's mountains, and then there's beach. But at that point when I went, it was pretty, what do you call it? It wasn't as developed, and I don't think it is that developed yet.
Fine.
Did
you go through the rainforest?
Yeah. So you go trekking through the rainforest, and I remember at one point I was trekking, and the tour guides, be careful because there was leeches on the leaves on the trail, and a few times, literally, I can feel a leech just jump from the leaf onto my arm, and the way to get rid of them is either you try to flick it off, otherwise because they physically leech onto you, you get a lighter and burn them. There's no other way to, because they'll just suck your blood.
Because a rainforest can be quite a scary place, right?
Yeah, if you don't like insects. Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff in the rainforest. There's probably so many undiscovered species.
Yeah.
Snakes.
Didn't see any snakes.
Maybe not. Well, there must be
There must be, yeah. I saw like obviously spiders and.
Yeah, I don't do well with snakes. They creep me out a little bit. But I would imagine if you get caught in, was it really wet? Was it?
Yeah, like it was pretty humid, and wet. It wasn't like, I don't think it was raining, but it's just like the moisture.
Yeah, I would imagine it like if it was raining, it'd be. Yeah. It'd be a great experience, but it'd be nice, fucking hard.
Yeah.
And you done Mount, so that was 4,000 meters. Is it Mount Kenya?
Yeah.
5,000 meters.
Yeah.
And attempted to climb Kilimanjaro.
Yeah.
But failed on the summit day. What's that?
So the trek to the summit of Kilimanjaro is about 7-8 days.
Right.
Give or take 1 day. And the final day is the summit day. So you wake up at like 2 a.m. and you get to the summit before the sunrise.
Oh, wow.
So I started off at 2-3 a.m. and then literally 3 or 4 hours into it, I just either the altitude that got to me or I just couldn't hack it.
Yeah, it's 6,000 meters above.
Yeah.
That's. What was your favorite out of the three?
Kenya, because it was
sunny.
It was, it was tough, but I got to the summit.
Yeah.
But it was at some point it's like that. So you're on your hands and.
Wow, it must be quite exhilarating getting to the top and being like, wow.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Taking the view. Did you many pictures and stuff? Yeah,
but do you know what? I don't think I used I don't know how. I definitely took photos, but I just don't know where they are.
Capture those memories. I would imagine that being at the top of any one of those mountains is like taking your breath away moment, right?
Yeah.
Have you got any more plans for climbing mountains?
I do, just finding the time, because you get like 25 days of annual leave if you're working, right? So just trying to find the time is
to do
hard.
them. I suppose at uni you had a little bit more flexibility. Right? Did you do a lot of this obviously then when you were young, like uni?
So no, when I climbed the mountains, I must have done them post uni actually, but just had more free time, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
So
There's a lot of planning and organising required?
There is, but if you join a tour company, you can just pay a little bit extra and just get them to do everything for you.
That's the easy way.
It's the easy way, right? And plus, all these mountains, you do need tour guides. You need the porters to carry your stuff because you're camping. And
do you get reception out there on your phone?
Do you know what? I don't know.
Can't make a call at the top of the mountain. So, if you had the time, where would that time take you? Everest.
Yeah, I want to do Everest, but I don't want to do base camp. I want to do the full-on Everest.
Okay.
I know it'll be a challenge to do base camp, but I want to go.
What's base camp?
So most people that climb Everest, they do the base camp. They do up until the base camp. So it's before. It's still I can't remember the altitude, but it's before you start the actual summit of Everest. And by that, what I mean is that before you need like oxygen, your ice picks and all of that.
So what would you take? What do you need going up the mountain? I've not done it.
So
I have absolutely zero idea.
You need a sleeping bag. You need
food.
Yeah, but that's provided by obviously the tour company. Obviously, trekking boots, gloves, scarf, hat, sunglasses.
Because you're obviously going up, you've got different weather, different climates.
Yeah. The best thing to do is just layer up, because then you can
just take off,
take on. Yeah.
Yeah. What about like the first aid element of stuff?
Yeah. Altitude sickness tablets, water, plenty of water.
Yeah, I can imagine being quite dehydrated, right?
Yeah.
But you said ice picks, as in what are they?
So on Everest, I think there's some parts that you physically have to like
latch on
and pull yourself up, and then latch again and pull yourself up.
Wow. And this is all like free, like no chains, no harness.
I'm pretty sure there should. Well, yeah, I think there is. Yeah.
Wow. New job in December. We spoke about. What is it purely for the fact of you want a new challenge?
Yeah.
What's the step after? So once you achieve, like, you know, you said they're looking to get bigger, they're going into certain things. What's the plan for you?
So ideally, I don't want to work for someone, is my long-term plan. But trying to find that thing to go into is obviously the hard part, right?
You've got the violin, right?
No. I'm not that good. So yeah, ideally I do want to I want to work for myself.
Find something
to do or earn money.
If it could be anything in the world, do you want it to do?
Yeah.
What would you do?
So I've always wanted to have my own like bar or restaurant or something.
Bar makes sense after seeing you at the Christmas party handing out those shots.
Yeah.
Bar makes absolute sense. So bar restaurant.
Because I used to do nights out at uni. I used to organise nights out.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And I used to really love it. It used to be fun. And ever since then, I've always wanted to open up my own bar more than restaurant.
In London, in England?
Yeah. But
I think the very much British culture of like booze is quite a big scale to appeal to.
That's my long-term plan, but I need to start planning now.
And you lived in Germany for a year?
Yeah, because I did an international degree. I had to do 1 year abroad. I had to work abroad. So,
and did you get to choose where you went?
Yeah. So I had all these telephone interviews, and I got the job in Munich working for Intel.
Oh, right.
The computer chip.
Oh, so it was based. It wasn't necessarily based on. You didn't necessarily choose the country. It was based on where the job was.
No, so I had to. I had to apply for the job within that country.
Fine.
So I couldn't.
Why Germany?
Because I had the option of either going to France or Germany, and I chose Germany because my best mate did the same thing a year before me.
Oh, right.
And I just really like Munich.
Oh, right.
Yeah, such a nice city. So.
And what did your placement involve you doing?
So it was working for the finance department, looking after their marketing budget.
Oh, right.
It was an internship, so it wasn't. I still did work, but it wasn't like
an unpaid internship.
No, it was paid.
Oh, right.
Yeah, just obviously next to nothing.
Yeah. And did you? I mean, some people, I guess, do placements purely because they have to, right? Because it's in, and almost find that becomes a bit of an inconvenience for them that they're in that placement. Was it something that you gained from? Did you benefit from that?
Yeah, I learned a lot because I hadn't lived alone since I moved to Germany, so
it's a big change, right?
Yeah. Especially because I used to live at home and everything was done for me at home. So yeah, it was a huge change, and I remember my mum came out after a month or 2 months just to make sure that I was living in like a nice, clean, tidy apartment.
You were washing your clothes, you were changing your bed sheets, you were washing the plates.
So yeah, she came, and then she used to post me chapatis from the UK to Germany.
When life was a little bit more simpler.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that was possible
to...
Well, I mean, it happened, whether it was the right thing to do or not. Yeah. And I mean, we've moved a long way away from COVID, but how was work for you, or what was your situation around COVID time?
So last day in the office was in March 2020. Yeah, 2020? Yeah. And then I've been working home since.
And do you prefer working from home?
So I enjoyed it up until February this year,
right? When
I realised I was getting a little bit bored.
Do you have a setup at home where it's separation?
Yeah. So I've got an office upstairs. That's where I am, and then my wife's downstairs.
And she's working from home as well?
She's been going in a few times, but initially she was, because we moved home in 2020 during lockdown, and when we...
Oh, so you moved...
We moved in October 2019
then?
19.
So you would have been new to the area?
Yeah.
And March 2020 it happened?
Yeah. Oh no, sorry, I'm lying. I moved in October 2020, yeah.
Right.
So we purchased it in 2019, we did it up, but we only did it up for one office room.
Right.
We didn't do two, because we thought...
we suppose you wouldn't know. Yeah.
And then obviously lockdown happened, so then luckily I had my office and my wife just got
the dinner table.
We made the wardrobe people build her desk.
Oh wow!
Because just otherwise she would have to work.
Yeah. And so you said you bored at home, just a lot harder.
Yeah, just I don't know what it was. Like I think I got used to the routine at home, but just missed speaking to the team. And
well, I suppose you're from the job that that job itself would be quite an individual. Like it's what's the word I'm looking for? You're segregated generally, aren't you?
Yeah. So I don't. For my role, I don't need to be in the office. I'm not client facing, even though I speak to the people in the business, like the directors, etc. Yeah. I don't need to physically.
It doesn't require input necessarily from others for you to do your job, or that can all be done essentially through email. Yeah. Like you need a spreadsheet.
Like on Zoom or Teams. Cool. Yeah.
You must be sick of Zoom, right?
Yeah.
A lot of Zooms over the last year.
Especially when you've got more than 3 people on the call. People are just shouting at they're talking over each other.
Yeah.
Because you can't physically tell them, stop, let me talk.
Yeah. It's hard as well. Just the obviously body language as well. But so the routine worked really well for you.
Yeah.
But then up until a certain point.
Yeah.
Would you want to go back?
So my new role, I've got to go in 2-3 days a week, which is perfect.
Gives you a good balance.
Exactly.
Yeah. Lastly, well, nearly there. You're an advocate about the environment and recycling.
Yeah, I think the main point is that you see what plastic does to the animals, especially the sea life. I just don't like seeing that. I read a fact that 1 million seabirds every year die, and 100,000 sea mammals, fish and turtles die just due to plastic.
Wow.
And Yeah.
Did you watch the documentary on Netflix? Is it Sea Life? Was it Sea Life? Sea World? Sea something?
Yeah.
Seaspiracy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually watched half. It was pretty gruesome.
Yeah.
Even up until the halfway point. Do you think this is to do with like the Jainism or anything like that? Do you think it's linked in somewhere?
I think it's linked to like the non-violence part, i.e. the animals dying. I know it's not violence, but it's still harming them, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always been into like animals, like nature.
Yeah.
I think I've been brought up that way from obviously traveling.
So do you try and avoid using plastic and everything?
I do, but not hard enough. I obviously do the recycling and all of that.
Yeah, so actively recycling quite regularly.
Yeah, definitely, actively recycle. But I know some people don't buy water bottles, they buy glass bottles in the shop. I don't go to that extreme. But I like to at one point.
Yeah, I mean, to be completely environmentally friendly is pretty hard.
Yeah.
From like car to home to travel.
Yeah.
Like it is a tough job to be completely environmentally friendly. I suppose if everyone made a little bit more subconscious decision to make small changes. I mean, most people will always see me with a bottle of Highland Spring water. And I guess I've trained myself to do that, but actually, could I buy glass bottled water? Maybe. Yeah. Would it taste the same? Probably better, to be fair.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? There's a thing on YouTube with water, and they do the different water taste tests, and there's like a bottle of water up to like $40,000 or something. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So like they look at the alkaline levels, and actually Smart Water has got one of the worst alkaline levels.
Wow.
And then they go through the different ones, and then like they're in this water gets presented. I can't remember the gentleman's name. This water gets presented in this like briefcase, and it's gold, like gold shit and whatever. But the water apparently tastes like crystal clear.
Wow.
When people say that you can't taste the difference between water or it doesn't got a taste, that's absolute bullshit. There's definitely a different taste.
I know. So I agree with you because once I tasted, I think one of the water brands, and I really like one of them. And normally I'm not that fussy about water, right? But this one,
turn into a bit of a water snob. So Julian, what's the plans for you fitness wise now, next 6 months? Like what do you want moving forward?
I think the main thing is consistency. I think I don't go completely off the radar, but I have ups and downs. But since obviously CrossFit, I have been better. But I think my aim is to do muscle ups. That is my ultimate aim. I know I've always wanted to do it even before I joined CrossFit. But yeah, that would be like my
so
goal.
that's on the list to do. Any other personal goals that you've got outside of obviously the gym and outside of your new job? Anything else?
Just to come up with a way of not working for someone in the next 5 years or so.
To be honest, that's a very good goal to have.
Yeah.
What's the timeline?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Just going to go through that whole SMART process.
Yeah.
Julian, we've run out of time for today. Thank you so much for your time, and guys and girls, we'll join you next week.